Inspire.
Inspired to aspire.
Aspire.
Aspiring.
Empower.
I am empowered.
Never give up.
Let's get inspired.
Empowered by DNA. Come on, hey. Empowered by DNA. Dialogue, networking, inspire. Empowered by DNA. With Nikki. With Nikki. With Nikki.
Hello, and thank you for joining Empowered by DNA. We're talking about dialogue, networking, and aspire. And so today I have some amazing guests with me. Not only are they guests, they are my family, great friends of ours, all the way from Cary, North Carolina. And I really believe that their story, our conversation, is going to be empowering for you. And if you may need to network with them, hey, I'll let me know and I'll get you connected with them. So today we have Bishop Alphonso Smith and his beautiful wife, Pastor Princess Smith. Again, all the way from Cary, North Carolina. They are entrepreneurs on every side. They are not only pastors of Life Covenant Cathedral, but they are also owners, president, CEO of A&amp Smith Community Partners CDC, Community Development Center. If you've ever been on my Facebook page, you've seen me share things. They're always reaching out to those in the community, but not only that, they are parents. Okay, they have children, they have a household to run, and so I just want to talk to them today about their business that the CDC that they do, as well as their ministry, and how all of this comes together on a daily basis. So before we dive into the details, Bishop Smith and Pastor Princess, let's get to know you just a little bit better. And so I always like to do fun, unique stuff, right? Because we know who we are with the titles and all that. But what's some fun fact that you could tell me about yourself and our listeners that, we wouldn't guess just looking at you?
You want to go first?
You go ahead.
I'm pretty petrified of social interactions.
Oh, wow.
Most people wouldn't know that about me, though, because the way I combat it is just by being social.
Awesome. Now that's going to be a good conversation.
Yeah.
I told you she's a pastor, which is people.
Yes.
And not only that, dealing with the public on a daily basis. So that's an interesting fun fact. We can dig into that. Bishop Smith?
And I'm a fun fact about me. I watch westerns, cowboys movies. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, wow.
That comes from my grandmother.
All right. Well, that's some downtime when you have time. That's a good conversation. When do you have time for those westerns?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So, part of this podcast, and one of the main reasons for this podcast, is to empower us and to encourage us. I'm always wanting people to reach their goal. They never feel like you're at a limit. So how do you do these multiple tasks? Because we're talking about your mother, your father, you're pastors, and then you're running a CDC, a community development. That alone is time. And I know that you all do a lot of it, you're hands-on. So you're out there serving the community. I know you recently did a workshop on financial empowerment, empowering people to get their finances and their debt together, which, knowing you personally, very good steward over everything that God has blessed her with, let me tell you. So how do we do this? Where do we start? How does this begin? Where did it begin?
You can go ahead and start.
Well, I tell people technically we started doing the nonprofit work probably in 2012, 2013. And then we didn't organize the nonprofit until 2017 by taking all the appropriate steps to get our federal award letter and all this stuff. And so it really just started because I really think that him and I both have a background of social work. So it's just it never leaves you. You know what I mean? Like, people who go into social work typically go into it because that's their thing. And so we realized we were doing the work. We were like, we should just start a business around this because that's what it's become.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a passion. You're that passion driven. I always say, I believe if you follow your passion, that is the thing that you'll be amazing at.
Yeah.
So truly, I do see you all's passion in the A&P Smith. I want to make sure I have the name right. A&P Smith Community Partner CDC. I do see your passion in it, and truly, it's a service.
It is.
So it's not. And I always like to say, I just think your passion has to go beyond the money, right? You got to love what you do. If you're driven to that thing by money, would you agree that just you're
won't
not
sustain.
exactly it won't last. It won't keep us there. So going back to you for just a second, Bishop, I'm gonna get to you. Going back to you, Pastor Princess. So you talked about having, and the reason I want to put you out there for a minute is because there are a lot of people who we do have fears, right? And it's that fear that will paralyze us from achieving the thing that God has called us to do and that we've been designed to do. I always say, just because you are designed to do it doesn't mean that fear doesn't exist.
That's right.
So let's get back to your introverted ways.
Yeah.
So you said you have a fear of just the being out there among people.
Right.
And what is that fear? I guess, do you know where that fear came from? Mm-hmm. And then how every day, I know you said I just do it by going out there. Can you kind of walk me through that experience on a daily basis?
Well, I think the first thing I'll say is, if it doesn't scare you, you're not walking in your purpose.
Wow. Wow.
So your purpose should scare you.
Okay.
I mean, I just think that is just the net of it. But the fear probably came from, for one, in K through 12, I was just picked on like every year. Mm-hmm. There was always some group of girls picking at me, or maybe one or two girls picking at me. And so I think I internalized that as, just walk to your beat of your own drum. Just be by yourself. You don't need to be a part of a clique to feel like you're worthy or appropriate or whatever we're looking for nowadays, and pursue what you want to do. I really live and die by the principle that I live by my own, process. Meaning, if I want to go and do this, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to go ask 10 people, how was it and what was it like? Because I know that in that, it's designed to make me afraid of it. And I'm already afraid of it. So I might as well not add to that. And so that's kind of the way I look at it. If I should be terrified in almost everything that I do, because I should be experiencing new things. I can't stand monotony. Doing the same thing every day would bore the crap out of me. I got to have something different.
I hear you on that one. I hear that. So you made some really great points here. Is that we ought to actually take that fear and let it drive us into the thing that we're supposed to do, instead of sitting back and saying, well, I'm afraid, and I like the fact that you said by the beat of my own drum. Yeah. So you may not agree with what I do. You may not like what I do, but hey, this is what I've been called to do, and I'm going to do it. Right. And you can be on the side of agreement and partnership, or you can be on the side of just sit and watch me be successful at this thing, because this is what I've been called to. So you said volumes right there. That's a lot, because I do believe that part of, I think why I love the word empowerment is because it's something that you're being driven or given what you need to get that thing done. Yeah. In spite of that physical disability, as I say, which is what I consider fear. Mm-hmm. And then I also like the fact that you said, if you're not afraid of it, if it's not, if there's not something about it that's causing you to shake in your boots, then it's probably nothing that you need to do. That's right. Because, and okay, get spiritual with it for a minute, since, we Christians here, is I believe that's the enemy's way of stopping us. To your point, if he's not bothering to hinder me or try to stop me or try to get in my way, apparently it's nothing that's going to cause his kingdom to shake. Mm-hmm. Right? Absolutely. Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Bishop Smith, How do you deal with the day-to-day? Because I know that you are a bishop, which means that you just don't have a ministry, but there are ministries. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you are married, you've got family, and then you've got A&P Smith, which I've also seen you out there hands-on. Mm-hmm. So how are we handling all of this? Do you have any fears? Are there any hidden things that say, you know what, we gonna do this? Is this gonna work out? What's the end gonna be?
Yeah, I have a little bit, especially when it comes to the finances, because we're really investing in our own 100%.
Yeah.
And so, and then we're trying to recruit others to volunteer to help us do what we believe the Lord has called us to do. And partnering with people in the community. She does most of that. I do most of, believe it or not, I'm doing most of the keeping the house together. I'm out with her in the community because the Lord gave it to me during COVID to start feeding people.
I remember.
You remember that, right?
I remember that.
Yeah, so but we're honored to be here. We want to let you know that. And we thank God for you and your husband. And so we started feeding people. I didn't know how it was going to go when we started expanding, but I shared it with her and she said, God spoke to me the same thing.
Yeah.
And then she has taken it to a whole nother level of what we are doing.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but at the same time, because it's really stretching us beyond where I thought we should be. I had a goal and we've surpassed it.
Awesome.
And so now I'm just saying, God is in your hands.
That's right.
And we're trusting him. So that's, because I thought we had reached our goal and she'll tell you, I said, okay, that's enough. But we just kept going.
Wow.
And now it's way beyond I could ever imagine.
Now see, that right there, preach. That right there, preach on that one. Going beyond your goal. When is enough enough? See, so I let somebody borrow that title. When is enough enough? Because you said that now I've reached my goal. But apparently it was to go further and further. And I think that is, to me, that passion driving you. When you're passionate about something, you believe this is what you're supposed to do, you get it done. And then you'll find that God has tapped into that and blessed it even the more. We've been studying Daniel in Bible study, and I'm not going to preach or anything, but that's one of the things we looked at, is how your obedience to God allows him to cover you. And then they were the top 7, they were the top of they were the top of all of the men that were chosen for King Nebuchadnezzar, basically. And I believe it was out of the obedience, because they fasted. So I believe because of your obedience to what the Lord, called, even though we say, I got an idea, this is what I still believe that idea is God driven. And the passion comes because before he knew us, before he formed us, he knew us. And he already had called that thing and that assignment. But I'm not going to get all into that, because we're here to talk about empowerment and empowerment moments. So you always said just a lot. You said a mouthful about, how it came to pass. I remember during the pandemic, and I thought that was a really, I won't say odd time to do something, because it was needed. It was really needed. And just so you know, even now, within every community, every city, every county, homelessness is real.
It is.
Hunger is just unbelievable. How many people don't have food? And in this country, we're supposed to be like one of the wealthiest countries in the world. And yet there are people that may have a roof over their head, but still can't afford to feed their families. And so just want to take a moment to talk about A&P, because I think it's such an amazing, I don't want to call it a business, but such an amazing ministry in itself. Because feeding people is a ministry. And I always say everybody's not called to do it. There's a population of people out there that, take a microphone and preach the word of God. I believe Bishop Bradshaw said it one time, if I'm hungry, you might want to feed me first before you start because my stomach's growling. I need some physical food before we start talking about the spiritual food. So let's talk about a little bit about A&P Community Partner CDC. I know that you're definitely big about getting information out there about finances and debt, and I think even last weekend it was about even getting ready to purchase a home, things of that nature. So what else is A&P involved in regarding the community?
So we have 4 programs. We have Eats to Streets, which is our mobile food pantry. where we have about 4 or 5 sponsors that we pick up food from on a weekly basis. And that food can be anywhere between like $2,000 and like $6,000 worth of food that would have went in the garbage. Lowe's Foods, Trader Joe's of Morrisville, The Butcher Shop, Panera, all of those are our in-kind sponsors for that program. So East of Streets is our mobile food pantry. Our second program is Leftovers. And literally that is taking some of the food that we get, and when we may keep a portion of like the butcher market gave us big old things of like seasoned chicken. So we may take a portion of that and cook it or grill it and put a vegetable with it, put it in styrofoam plates and literally drive around and hand it out. And what we don't do is we don't ask people if they're homeless. We just say, would you like something to eat?
Okay.
So people who may not be homeless also get a plate as well. And then our other program is Financial Progress, and that is in tandem with our self-help credit union, who's just been wonderful for us. We teach financial literacy classes, and we just branched out into Guilford County this year. We decided we wanted to kind of go to a new area, and I'm hoping that this partnership will also take us like Georgia and Florida, where other self-help credit union branches are, because they just have wonderful programs for the community. And then our fourth program is Eye Care for You. It's a local eye shop over in Apex, North Carolina. And what they do is they give us one person that they'll donate an eye exam and full set of glasses to per month, regardless of their status, whether they work or don't work, homeless or not homeless. As long as they show up for the appointment, they will get a full exam, even the diabetic exam that you get, and a full complete set of glasses. And so that program has a waiting list, as you can imagine, but it is so effective. And I can't tell you how many calls we get and referrals we get where people say, hey, I heard y'all helping people get glasses. You know, I'm like, yeah, it won't be till the summer because you're like number 10 on the list. But I mean, people wait patiently and they go get their glasses. And so we're very grateful for that. We do have a fifth community partner that we're working. The connection has been made. We just got to get everything set up, and that's through West Cary Wellness Center. And what the doctor there will offer is chiropractor services for one person each month, whatever they need, consultation or exams and stretching and techniques that they need to use. And so I'm really excited about that, and I'm hoping that people will take advantage of that as well.
Awesome. Wow. Y'all on the ball. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot, but it's a lot that is needed. And I think that's amazing. That's why I wanted us to talk about that, because I think that in this particular day and time, it's needed. I know at our ministry, we partnered with some ministries, and I think we've partnered with you all some as well. And there's just a great need out there. But it's amazing that you've stretched from one end of a need to the next, from glasses to financial literacy. I mean, there are folks with homes that need financial literacy, that have jobs that get income every day, but that financial literacy could literally save our lives to be able to afford the things that we need. I think it's amazing that you have the partners that you have. I never thought about food we're going to throw away anyway, being able to be a blessing. And I love the fact that you said, I don't ask if you're homeless, just if you're hungry. Because I think that's a misconception. It is. You got to be homeless to be hungry. Right. No, sweet precious, you don't have to be hungry. You can have a house and still be hungry. So that is amazing.
And that's where the greatest need is. We have to read statistics on that all the time, because if we're going to prepare a grant application, they want to know, like, this is the community you're serving. How much of it is food insecure? And food insecurity is a wide umbrella. It just does not cover people who are sleeping on the streets. It covers elderly people. The statistic is alarming for elderly people that are food insecure. You'd be surprised at the thresholds that need to be met in order for them to not be classified as food insecure. So it's a lot of kids that get up every day and go to school. A single mother taking care of 4 kids. Likely she could be experiencing food insecurity. So we try to reach into the depths of all those pots, because people are in need. It really doesn't matter your backstory. Let's just focus on the need.
I love that. I love you. I love that, because that I think that's, for years, Whenever we've talked about homeless people
Yeah.
or people that need food, it's always, well, why are they homeless?
Yes.
And let's stop them from being homeless. And I'm like, let's deal with the current need, which is food or shelter. It's
Yes.
getting cold outside.
Yes.
So definitely I applaud you all for having that passion, having that heart, and then taking it beyond the four walls of the church, as I like to say,
Yeah.
and having that separation, right?
Mhm.
So we can see Christ in you. They can see Christ in you by your actions.
Right.
And so I think that's amazing. That's what I love. And that's where I think as ministry, we need to go.
Absolutely.
Go just show people.
Yeah.
You know, everybody doesn't need a sermon. I know we'll probably hear some feedback on that one,
yes.
but you know,
You done put yourself
I'm
out
like
there.
you. I walk by the beat of my own drum.
Right.
And I
That's why y'all get along.
exactly. That's why we get along so well.
Yes.
So before we come to a close, just a lot of amazing information. Again, I thank you both for your time and being one of my first guests on DNA. And of course, when we talk about the great work that you're doing, I know that it takes money. You've mentioned that.
Yeah.
So if someone is watching and they want to sow into this awesome ground that will yield fruit, how do they do that?
They can do Cash App, which is $ Pastor P. Smith. We do have Venmo, but you'd have to search us. It's our company name, A&P Smith, Community Partner CDC, and our picture will come up as well when you search that. And you're welcome to mail your contributions, and we'll make sure that info is placed in the chat for you as well. But we are happy with whatever we get, because it's a process, and we understand that it's just not going to be overnight. Most people don't get into this kind of work to become millionaires. They get into this kind of work because they care, and if they happen to live well off, then that's even better, right? We do want to be sustained because we are full-time in this work, so I'm definitely not going to downplay the fact that finances are very needed to carry out the mission. So we just appreciate any support.
Awesome. So I will ask, if you're part of my community, in this community, we definitely want to sow into this ministry. That's what it is in my eyes. They are doing a work. The word of God says, if you've done it to the least of these, so if you've done it unto me. And so that's what we want. We want to sow. So I'm going to sow, but I also want you to sow into this ministry and be a blessing. Look, they're out there doing a work. They are affecting people. Listen, the government is not going to do it all.
Nope.
And as quiet as it's kept, they have never done it all. They have never done it. It takes a village, it takes a community. And so listen, they're coming into Guilford County, they're going into other counties. Let's help them. We know where the money is going, okay? And I'm not knocking any other agencies out there, any other organizations, but this is the one that I know, and this is the one on my show today. And so this is what I'm asking. So thank you again. And one last question, we'll close out. If someone said, hey, I'd like to do something like that, could you give us a short explanation or a direction of where they would start if they wanted to do their own nonprofit within their community to, whether it's to feed someone, clothe someone?
So the short version is you can just get out and do it. I mean, no one's going to govern you or say bad you for giving out shoes.
Well, they will.
But
you remember we had churches that persecuted us when we first started.
Oh, yeah.
Because they thought we were getting money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get out and get it done, but if you want to do things the legal way, you will have to, get a federal tax ID and get your solicitation license or notice from the state of North Carolina, because North Carolina is one of those states that require it. Go through the process to get your 1023. I set those up for people as well. I help other people establish their nonprofits. So it's one of the services that I offer. So if you're just not want to get in that water, because a lot of people don't want to deal with all the red tape stuff, and I get it, you can definitely reach out to us and we can do a consultation and let you know how much that will cost you. But it's a process, and it takes the IRS about 6 weeks to send you the letter saying either you are granted nonprofit status or you aren't, and here's the reason why.
Awesome, amazing. So thank you so much to the Smith family, Bishop Smith, Pastor P as we call her. We're so grateful to have them. Again, we had great dialogue. listen, networking, there are some things that she's willing to help you with. Bishop Smith is willing to help you with. We'll have their contact information available in the chat so that you can connect with them. Listen, maybe you are a ministry or an individual or a business that just wants to partner with someone, great partners here that you can sow into and help them fulfill their passion and their gift and the thing that God has given them to do. So thank you again for joining us in this conversation, empowering with DNA, dialogue, networking, aspire. So listen, whatever it is you're aspiring to do, I promise we're going to touch bases on this. So thanks again. Look forward to talking with you next week.